The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. The Pharisees went off and plotted how they might entrap Jesus in speech. They sent their disciples to him with the Herodians, saying, "Teacher, we know that you are a truthful man, and that you teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. And you are not concerned with anyone's opinion, for you do not regard a person's status. Tell us then, what is your opinion? Is it lawful to pay the census tax to Caesar or not?" Knowing their malice, Jesus said, "Why are you testing me, you hypocrites? Show me the coin that pays the census tax." Then they handed him the Roman coin. He said to them, "Whose image is this, and whose inscription?" They replied, "Caesar's." And that he said to them, "Then repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God." The Gospel of our Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. Matthew, the tax collector, tells us a story about taxation. And although the social situation has changed radically since the time of Jesus and Matthew, there is still theological discussion over taxes. There are also still traps. And traps could arguably be added to that permanent pair of certitudes, death and taxes. The Pharisees are insincere. They initiate a conversation with Jesus only so they can trick him into saying something incriminating. They've constructed a plot that will bring Jesus down. That's why they've brought along the Herodians. The Herodians want to keep Herod in power, and Herod stays in power as a pawn to the Romans. The Romans keep him there to collect taxes. If Jesus speaks out against taxes, they can get him for sedition against Rome. The Herodians will witness this sedition, and Jesus will then be subject to prosecution. But if, on the other hand, Jesus submits to the Roman tax, he'll discredit himself as a prophet and lose his following. The people who follow Jesus despise Roman taxes for theological and economical reasons. If the land belongs to God, what right do the Romans have to collect taxes on everything from the fruits of the earth and animals to the fishes of the sea? Also, this taxation was crushing. Not a reasonable percentage, but an intolerable burden that included bribery and cheating. If Jesus sanctioned the taxation laws, it would contradict much of his message. But this is the plot the Pharisees have hatched. The two-edged sword they hope will slice Jesus on either side. But did you hear it? The first move is to grease the skids. They excessively flattered Jesus as a part of their strategy to speak plainly and reveal himself. And so they comment on his truthfulness and his refusal to say what people want to hear, especially those in authority. Therefore, Jesus will not try to evade the question or pander to those in power. They want Jesus to talk in a vacuum, to completely disregard those to whom he's talking. After all, truth is independent of its audience, isn't it? Well, the flattery part may be right. Jesus may not gear his speech to a person's moral state. The moral state of these Pharisees is malicious. They're hypocrites. What they say on the outside doesn't match the inside. The thoughts of the heart and the words in the mouth are completely different. They are not interested in taxes and God. They're interested in undercutting the influence of Jesus. Hey, Jesus doesn't have a Roman coin, so he asks for one. This alone is an indication of where Jesus is coming from. The Pharisees have asked a duplicitous question, so now Jesus includes them in his response. He makes them say that the coin belongs to the emperor. And then the text ends with, "Give, therefore, to the emperor the things that are the emperor's, and to God the things that are God's." Now, however you interpret Jesus' words, they don't directly answer the question, is it lawful to pay taxes to the emperor or not? It may mean that the emperor has a certain domain and God has a certain domain, and they should not be confused. It may mean that taxes to the emperor are permitted as long as they don't infringe upon the laws of God. Whatever it means, it is not the end of a conversation, but a catalyst for further dialogue. The talk in the text may end, but the talk among those who read the text continues in you and me.